Well, hey guys, hope you're enjoying your weekend. I owe you guys a gaming stream. I've been planning on trying to get another one done. I've got a lot of games to play. I just picked up Lords of the Fallen. Maybe tonight, if we have time, if we can kind of run through some of this stuff pretty quickly here, we can do a game stream. I don't know. The problem is I got to get up at like the ass crack of dawn for church tomorrow, and I'm already doubting the ability to do that. So that being said, I am happy to have you guys here. I love doing these kind of impromptu, spontaneous streams because while I do like having my regularly scheduled Monday, Wednesday, and or Friday streams, it's kind of fun just to check in with you guys, kind of off the cuff, not really having a whole lot prepared, just kind of taking it all in with you guys as well. Yo, this PC, the Flux, is actually cheaper than I thought it was. Shameless plug, go buy a PC, but in all honesty, I'm actually gonna pick up this one for work, and it was listed at $949, but it's actually only 900 bucks. That's not a bad deal. No, my computer situation at work is really bad, and I've been looking at either going back to Costco and buying a pre-built, which I hate the pre-builts at Costco because they're all like Dells or HPs, Lenovo, which I freaking hate Lenovo. I think I'm gonna snag this guy this week. I'll get to put it on a credit card, obviously, but still. Anyways, guys, lots to check out, lots to talk about. If you're in the market for a PC, use the link down below, use my code to save some money. But other than that, I want to kind of catch up on everything that's been going on this week because there's a lot of stuff that I missed. A lot of stuff I didn't get to talk about on streams, a lot of stuff I didn't get to cover in videos because I've been so busy with my real life work. Every time I fart, you take a piece of me with you. Damn straight, man. As somebody with an inflammatory bowel disease, I can relate to that. Anytime I decide to cut the cheese randomly, I just look at my wife and she just kind of scowls at me. I'm like, hey, Crohn's disease, you know, I have the easiest out in the frickin' world. No, that being said though, I probably should practice better manners than that. All right, let me kill the music so we can actually watch some of these videos. All right. So I kind of want to start off talking about the ever crazy descent of Sunrand Studio, a channel that I've been a big fan of for a long time. I love this guy's videos. I've loved a lot of what he's done. He skyrocketed in popularity due to some videos talking about the design of the characters for Concord. We've covered him before on the stream. He dropped by the live stream when I was talking about him a week ago or whatever. So I thought it was going to be the end of it. I thought that there was not going to be anything else to talk about. There was a lot of drama because he seemed to attack his audience and then back off and say, oh no, guys, that was just kidding. I just don't want negativity. Then he's made 3 or 4 videos since then, essentially trying to explain his take. And the problem is that nothing seems to be jiving. Nothing's connecting. And it's leaving me asking a lot of questions. I know a lot of other people have been talking about him too. So I wanted to watch this video with you guys because I started watching it yesterday. And to be honest, I can't quite figure out what to make of it. And a lot of it has to do with, in fact, yesterday we got this tweet that we saw with a lot of the Nintendo pricing. Let me go full screen, and I apologize for how bright that is. I hate when people screenshot stuff in white. Seemed all the Smash T followers followed him too. Well, the thing is, financially, a lot of crossover. It never seems to fail that despite how big the internet is, despite how big YouTube is, and there are so many like communities, like thousands and hundreds of thousands of little niche communities on YouTube, between channels that cover similar content, there's a lot of crossover, a lot bleeds over. And so unfortunately, if anybody says anything critical, it kind of creates this awkward, oh no, I can't watch this guy if you're criticizing him. And I never want to come like fall into that situation, especially with Sunrand. I think he's just kind of screwed up. In this current situation, I'm really hoping that this is kind of a wake-up call for him to either basically shit or get off the pot. I mean, just to be crude about it. Either go back to what you were doing, enjoy what your audience, gives you, enjoy what they take away from your videos, and ignore whatever negativity is that you don't like, or no longer cover the videos or the topics you were making before in your videos and just go all in on, I'm just going to make this a happy, good feeling, happy-go-lucky channel, not have anything negative to say about anybody, which to me, The problem with saying I only want positivity and no negativity is that's not real life. That's not realistic. Like I was saying this earlier, I think it was Legendary Drops who tweeted it out. That is like, it's really hard for gamers to feel positive about things when all we have as far as like people being positive about things are the people who are shilling for games like Concord and Dustborn and, Forspoken and all the games that suck, right? All you're getting is a bunch of fluff and BS from people who are essentially corporate mouthpieces and shills who are trying to push things like this. Like, again, this is the situation. Here's what happened. The TLDR. Sunrand had been going after a lot of these corporations that were acting greedy, making dumb decisions, criticizing them, telling them you need to change your ways. Gamers are sick of this. Then Nintendo came out and said, we have the Switch 2. Well, Sunrand, he makes video games for the Switch, and he's probably excited about making games for the Switch 2. So I don't know if he naturally went into like defense mode for Nintendo or what, or if he truly believes that this is a great thing and great pricing and he doesn't see the issue with it, which is fine if that's what he truly believes. I would disagree with it, but if that's what he truly believes, that's fine. But like you see pricing like this, $450 for the Switch 2, fine with that. I don't care, that doesn't bother me. $80 for the digital games, that's a problem. Hey, friend with trees. The Joy-Cons, I freaking hate Joy-Cons. Does anybody who's a Nintendo owner ever like Joy-Cons? Discover a new channel, I guess? Hey, well, welcome. For me personally, I can't stand Joy-Cons. The whole drift stick and everything else. I also don't like how they feel. For me personally, I hate Joy-Cons. I would rather have a regular controller. And again, I didn't have a Wii or a Wii U. I'm not a big fan of motion sensitive controllers. So for me, that mechanic, that part of the controller and that part of the system is not something for me. But then you get like $85 for the Switch 2 Pro controller. At one time, I was able to buy my son's Switch 2 Pro controller, the actual Nintendo brand Pro controller, for like $60 or less on Amazon. And now here we have this freaking, I don't even know, $85 for a controller? Not unless I light a few matches before your fart reaches me. I've never tried to light a match and then fart on it. Can't say I've ever done that. Done a lot of other stupid stuff in my day, but never that. The Switch 2 dock set, $120 for an extra dock. Okay. I understand, and I think Smash JT was talking about that these were just situations where these are MSRPs, so obviously most people aren't going to pay what the dollar amount is on, on this list here. The problem is, you can say that, but I think that for most retailers, a lot of these things, the console is never going to drop below $450. The Pro controller is never going to drop below about $80 to $85. The Joy-Cons are probably going to be $95 for the next 3-4 years even. So these things are never going to change. Nintendo does not lower their prices. Oh, matches can mask the smell of a fart. Interesting. Oh, the sulfur. Very, very true. So again, Sunrand seemed to be shilling for Nintendo, seemed to be defending them. And the funny thing is, I actually went through, and we're going to watch this video here from yesterday called Fishing Trip. I did not watch this yet. I kind of clicked on it and listened to it for a minute to get an idea about it. And I was really disappointed because you can't see them now. He's either privated them or deleted them. The videos where he criticized his audience, then he came out and said, hey, that was just a joke. Then he came out and said, hey, Veridark, Hypnotic, Smash JT, you guys are doing great. I wish I could help, but I'm going to support you behind the scenes. All those videos have been delisted. So since then, he's had, well, let's see, 2 more videos talking about taking accountability for the things he said, what's up with your tone in your recent videos, okay, all this stuff, right? Well, I thought he was done with it. I thought he was done. I thought he was going to just let it go and stop talking about it. Because I'm like, look, at the end of the day, he can make whatever videos he wants to. If he truly didn't like the negativity in his comment section, totally fair game, up to him. I think it's kind of a silly thing to complain about when it was, again, it was okay when it was Concord. It was okay when people talk about games and studios like Ubisoft and EA and everything else, right? It's okay to criticize these guys, but for some weird reason, it got weird around Nintendo. Well, then he put out this video, Fishing Trip, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll play through the first little bit of it, guys, because I don't understand where his head is at and how this is helping him at all. Let me, I'll watch the volume. I think this should be loud enough. Again, it's a 17-minute video. I don't necessarily feel like watching the entire thing, but maybe there'll be something to take away from it. I don't know. We'll see.
I owe you a fishing trip, don't I?
Now, ironically, I said this when my stream started. I owe you guys a game stream. I was actually trying to get my oldest son to do a game stream with me the last couple days, but we couldn't figure out a game to play on multiplayer. And I kind of felt like with the fact that we have to get up so early to get to Easter service tomorrow, I'm like, let's just plan that for a different day. So maybe next Friday, Saturday, we can do a game stream or something.
All right, let's go fishing. There's going to be some changes around this channel, but we can talk about it on the way. Hop in and let's go. Oh, you're going to need a hat. I'll let you borrow this one. This one's really special. It used to belong to a very close friend of mine. Normally, I don't let anyone use it, but this one time I'll let you use it. All right, let's go fishing.
Now, the thing about that is, I've been very, very careful that I don't want to criticize Jarrell over at Sunrand and call him like a manipulator or a grifter or narcissist, all these words that you could use, right? But he's done this before, and he's done this for a long time, and a lot of people have been questioning, calling it out, asking about like, to what degree can you emotionally manipulate your audience before it gets to be like levels that are just beyond disgusting? When you keep bringing up friends who have passed away, people who have passed away, people who are sick, again, putting the hat on the camera from a friend who obviously is passed away now, or at least that he's alluding to the fact that they passed away, it feels, unfortunately, like emotional manipulation. And I'm not saying it is. And I know there are still people who think that it's genuine. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just concerned when you keep seeing the same pattern over and over again with a guy who has used this almost as a deflection technique. It kind of leaves you feeling kind of weird about it. Hey, Susano. Happy Saturday, dude.
Over the past 10 months or so, or however long I've been making these kind of videos, I've been trying to tell people something. I've been trying to explain to people I am not a YouTuber, but people only just laughed and thought it was a joke and said, no, haha, you are a YouTuber. And then people would get angry at me when I would conduct this channel in a way that they would not expect. People think that's not how a YouTuber would do this, and it would upset them.
It's an argument of semantics, and I'm kind of tired of both sides of it. Like people who are trying to argue and say, well, you are a YouTuber, and him trying to say, well, I'm not really. It's like, the thing speaks for itself. You're making a video on YouTube to explain why you're not a YouTuber to an audience who says you are a YouTuber while you're saying you're not. It's a retarded argument. Like, let's just be blunt about it. I understand the premise behind what he's trying to say. I don't do this professionally. It's not my job, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. There are people who even tried to argue, well, how much did you make on those videos? That's irrelevant. Even if he made, I don't know, $5,000 over the course of a couple months on a couple of videos, that's not going to pay his bills for the entire year. Can you make the argument that that's a part-time job? Sure, absolutely. Does that make him a quote-unquote YouTuber by trade, by definition? Yes. But again, I understand he's trying to argue from more of an emotional point where it's like, well, I don't do this as a professional YouTuber because I have a full-time job or I've got another job where I actually make my money. It's semantics, though.
Something that I have explained multiple times in my videos is that I really dislike attention. I don't like being treated like I'm special. I'm not important, and I don't like being treated like I am important or that I'm better than anyone else, and I really dislike that.
Freedom Trooper, I liked Sunrand up till this whole fiasco, not because his opinion was different, but because he did attack his audience who disagreed. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. I've actually had a difference of opinion with some people, like about the whole Nintendo Switch 2 thing. I have no problem with the price tag at $450 for the console itself. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is all the extras. Okay, and this for the chat feature, and this for your extra, this and that. It's like the add-ons for the Nintendo Switch 2 are absolutely insane. That's where the price gouging really comes in, and the digital games and everything else. Not your problem.
And when
oh, for
I
sure.
made videos about industry topics, and you know, we all know what happened with Concord and Dragon Age and all that, and I did speeches, people called me the President of Gaming and Mr. President, and to be honest with you, that made me very uncomfortable. I even asked people directly, you know, you don't have to call me that, please just call me Jarrell. Because that is not how I feel. It's like people are saying I'm better than other people, and
So, Susano, the only difference between what's happened the last week and now is that this is like the third or fourth apology video. And it's like, it's getting to be where the dude just needs to stop. If he wants to make, and I said this again, Jarrell, if he catches this video like on a replay or whatnot, or if he ends up popping in here, make the content you want to make. Stop apologizing or trying to explain why you're doing what you're doing. And I think that's the part that a lot of people are kind of getting sick and tired of, is that he made a video that obviously people have interpreted one way or the other, where he attacked his audience. Then he said, ha, that was just a troll. I was just trying to get you guys to leave. Then he's like, well, I didn't have enough people leave, so let me double down and say, you know, that wasn't really me, but I want you guys to leave anyways. It's just a strange situation, right? It's a very weird situation.
that really made me uncomfortable. The videos where I got a lot of views made me very uncomfortable, and I just did not like when my videos got a lot of views. I just wanted to make fun videos that got some views, that I can share some laughs and some positive vibes with people.
I mean, I'm gonna be very like simple-minded about this, Jarrell. If you make a video, and it gets a lot of views and you're uncomfortable with it, delist the video. Delete the video. Take down the video. It's that simple. The internet's a funny place. You know, YouTube just happens to be the platform of this contest being noticed. I do not believe he's a YouTuber. Oh, sure, okay. But the thing is, he's made over 800 plus videos. By definition, by the very definition of what it means to be a YouTuber, it is 100% a fact that he is a YouTuber. I mean, the man has made more videos than I have. Makes it hard for me to take him serious with this. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But again, here was my hot take. I was like, okay. I said this on my Discord, and I'm not sure who's even here that's on Discord, but I said, look, here's the thing. He's either one, a completely narcissistic sociopath, emotional manipulator who's just trying to use his audience and berate them for not liking his opinions. Two, he is genuinely a decent guy, but he wanted to shill for Nintendo because he didn't, you know, feel like he could speak out about Nintendo because he has a contract with them, or he wants to put games on the Switch 2 platform or whatever. Or three, he just really doesn't know what he's doing. He means well, but he's completely in over his head. I don't know. I don't know what the three options are that is the most likely, you know? He's just making videos? Well, okay. YouTube doesn't even currently pay my car bill. Am I a YouTuber or am I a guy who makes YouTube videos? I mean, it's semantics. I don't think that there's any one thing that qualifies. He popped off so fast. Yes, but then he continued to feed into the growth. That'd be like saying when my videos got a lot of views back in March of last year. When my first Sweet Baby Inc. video about Kimball Air got 66,000 views. If I chose then, oh my god, this is making me uncomfortable, I don't like this, I'm gonna stop. Okay, that would have made sense. Then when my videos got picked up by Asmongold, and that video has like 88,000 views. Or my videos talking about Dustborn and the developers, and those got like 50, 60, 70,000 views. I have like 2 or 3 videos over the life of my channel that have like 100,000+ views, which is insane. Like crazy amount of views. Makes you a little uncomfortable, especially when you don't feel good about the quality of said video. Like I've made a lot of videos that are trash, that I look and go, those videos were terrible, terribly edited, terribly produced, terrible. I mean, just everything was bad. My opinion sucked at the time. I didn't properly state my opinion. And for some reason, YouTube decides those are the videos we're gonna feed into the algorithm, right? Then you can have a video you feel really good about and YouTube just decides, that's not the one for you today. Okay. Either way, if you at any point you're not comfortable with any attention at all, I have a hard time with anybody posting on a public platform designed first and foremost around the idea that if you have good content, it'll get picked up in the algorithm, who then says, I don't like attention. Guess what? My wife is very modest. She doesn't like attention. You know what she doesn't do? She doesn't post on social media very often. She doesn't use Twitter. She uses it to like follow people and that's it. She doesn't make YouTube videos. She doesn't put herself out there because she doesn't like attention. So I have such a hard time with this concept, you know?
Cool. As my subscriber count climbed higher and higher and higher, it made me very uncomfortable. And I knew
Hey, Merlin.
I was planning for months on what the off-ramp would be. And you might be wondering, why would someone want to lose subscribers? Why would someone want their videos to do worse? I have been trying to tell you guys for 10 months or so, I am not a YouTuber. I do not care about the subscriber count. I do not care.
Merlin, we're just kind of breaking down this video that Sunrand posted yesterday. Another video trying to explain the situation. And I swear to God, the more that he says, I'm not a YouTuber, this is the reason I did this, while he's continuing to make another YouTube video talking about it while saying he's not a YouTuber, it's driving me crazy. Like, I genuinely want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I do like the guy, and I've watched a lot of his videos. I know Susano said he hadn't really seen a whole lot of them. But I thought he actually had a really cool vibe. I loved his, you know, dry humor. I liked a lot of his highly produced, like, he spent a lot of time with, like, he had, like, his news ones that he'd do, which were hilarious. Like, again, he didn't have to be this guy that was going to save the video game industry and stuff. I mean, he's just another dude that was online talking to a microphone and to a camera. That's what we all do, right? It's obviously he did it well, which is why his channel blew up so fast. But he didn't owe anybody an explanation. He didn't have to give anybody an explanation. He could have simply one day said, you know what? I'm not going to cover these topics anymore because I like making videos about other things, so I'm just not going to cover that anymore. This doesn't, for me, it doesn't make any sense. Having a hard time, especially while walking the dog. Oh, sorry about that, dude. That's what most of the past content was, yeah. Yeah, a lot of his videos have been about Switch and development and Nintendo and emulating and putting his games for like the PS Vita, I guess, and the 3DS. So if that's what he really wanted to get back to, yeah, I feel bad for him too, dude. Merlin, I'm just like, he keeps making videos on YouTube, saying he's not a YouTuber while uploading the videos to YouTube, spending a lot. I mean, this video took a lot of time to edit. Okay, he went out, he fished, he filmed. He then did a 17-minute recording over the top of it, and the whole time it seems like, dude, here's the answer: stop making these kind of videos. Make the videos you want. You don't have to. It's like him taking the time to explain it to death is just making people more like scratch their head, going, "I don't understand what you're doing."
Care about the views. To be a YouTuber, you have to care about those things. You have to work towards your subscriber count, getting high views. Those are.
And why does he care what his number of subscribers? Like, why do you care if people unsubscribe or not? This is the weirdest part. His whole, okay, I got negative. Once I started talking about Nintendo, I was getting negativity in my videos, and that was intentional because I wanted to provoke my audience. I mean, when he told me that last week, I was kind of like, okay. But your main thought at the moment is he sounds like he doesn't understand the land he walked into. All right, so here's my one counter to that, and you can feel free to disagree. But even let's say he never got into culture war, never got into Gamergate, never got into DEI or DEI practices, any of these conversations. If you take the time to make a video, put it on YouTube or any video hosting platform, you don't do that with the hope that nobody's gonna watch that. You could say, you know what, I don't care about how many views it gets. I don't care about monetizing. I don't care about the money. I care about giving somebody positivity. I care about giving somebody, a video of how to fix something. If something's broken or if you can't figure something out, here's a how-to video. My very first video on this channel, when I was just streaming on Twitch, I had this serious issue I couldn't figure out on Twitch through Streamlabs, how to put this little this little text tool at the bottom of my streams that would tell people what the song was that I had playing. I finally dug around enough to figure it out, so my first video on my channel was a how-to video of how to add this to your stream. I think it's still there. If you go back to the very first video on my channel, I'm pretty sure it's still there today, right? So again, I didn't do that hoping nobody would see that video. I did that hoping somebody would, you know, if they needed it. It doesn't make sense to go, well, I didn't want anyone to see my videos. No, you want somebody to see it. You're not important enough for that? I wanted to cover this video first. And I don't know if you were been here the whole time, but I was sharing some thoughts on kind of like my situation and everything else over here. Not disagreement, it sounds like control issue. Well, you can ask him, he's right here. Hey, Hook. So Sunrand, I was watching the first few minutes of this video, and my ultimate thought about this dude is, I've said it before, I said it last week too. If your ultimate goal is to just kind of make the content you have, whether it gets great views or not, these kind of videos here, like just from the first few minutes I've watched, it doesn't feel like, it just feels unnecessary. And I get it, you kind of want to explain yourself, but it doesn't feel, like I feel like these kind of videos make it harder for people to just kind of accept that you've moved on to just, you're going to make the kind of content you want to make. Idubbbz getting ass wrecked by everyone, including his wife's boyfriend. I didn't see that with Sam Hyde yet. Susanna's a reference to Naruto. See, I don't even watch anime, so I don't even know about that. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, Sunrand. And again, I just wanted to kind of, I saw this video got uploaded yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, so I wanted to watch the first few minutes and kind of give my take on it, my thoughts. Hopefully that doesn't bother you too much, man.
They're not things that I care about, and getting high numbers like that made me uncomfortable.
Dude, let me ask you,
we all know,
because this is something I was saying. I wish you were here 2 minutes ago, because I was saying one of the things that I find funny about YouTube, and this is something that always bothers me. I'll have a video that I think that it's not a good video, right? I didn't do a good job explaining my point, my thought process, where I'm coming from, and that video, for some weird reason, YouTube will boost up into the algorithm. Those will be the videos that get 20, 30,000 views, right? And then I'll have videos that I feel really good about that they don't get any views. And so I'll go, okay, that's just strange. I don't know. I've given up trying to figure out the YouTube algorithm because at this point, I find it to be something that I genuinely just can't comprehend how to make it work. So it's whatever at this point. But the thing I was saying before, I don't know if you were here or not, once your videos hit that point, that threshold, that, you know, you break 100,000 views. I mean, I saw that first Concord video of yours blow up like overnight. I saw your feed, that was the first video of yours that actually got into my feed. And from there, that was the video that just kind of, I kept getting like skyrocketing. 200,000 views, 300,000 views, 400,000 views. I think it's sitting at like 900,000. So in that situation, did you feel like you had to keep making videos because of the level of eyes that were on you? Because like I've said, if it's a situation where you don't feel comfortable having that many people watching your content, and I get it, not everyone on YouTube wants to have like a crap load of views, right? But if it's uncomfortable to have that many people watching your content, why continue, you know? You know, dude, okay. When I upload a video, I listen to it one time through to make sure it sounds decent, like no audio issues. And then like if I accidentally have it come on in the car on my Bluetooth, it freaks me out. I'm like, no. Yeah, no, the YouTube algorithm, I've given up trying to figure it out. Oh, it's a Shinto thing, okay. Everyone makes a faux persona of the people around them. They're not really talking about us, they're talking about the thing in their head. Your only advice is you're probably misreading whatever's going on is to read The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. You know, Susano, I have a list of books. Hook is here in the chat. He was trying to recommend a bunch of books also, and I have a backlog of books that I've been intending to read. So you didn't like making those videos either, it was just to accomplish a goal. The industry was letting developers attack and insult gamers. Sony didn't disavow that behavior. Right. So okay, so that goes back to my original question. Did you feel like after the first few times you had videos that were bangers, I mean, let's be honest, you had some videos that got a crap ton of views. Did you feel like you didn't have a choice? Like, rather than have where everyone's like, oh, he's having a mental breakdown for the last 3 weeks, right? Why not just be like, you know what, guys? Those videos were good, but I'm just going to be straight honest. These are not the kind of videos I want to make in the future, and I'm going to get back to what my channel started as. So, hey, if that's cool with you, let's just keep going with this rather than just, I mean, it's just, it seems a lot more hectic, and maybe that goes back to where you keep saying you're not a YouTuber, so you didn't really plan it out. I don't know. You used to work at a call center. You hated when you had to listen to your old calls. Oh, dude, I would have hated that so much. The straw man. I had to Google the whole straw man, steel man thing a couple years ago because I didn't even understand what that whole reference was to. It's insane publishers are allowing developers to run their mouths. I mean, dude, for real. That was the thing, too, where a lot of people freaked out about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And rightfully so, because that entire situation between Daniel Vavra, the developers, a lot of the situations going on with the frickin' Steam code of conduct and everything else is just crazy. Oh, someone's in Discord here. Hang on a second. I might have to verify this person manually. No idea who that is. We'll give it a second. Oh, you didn't feel pressure to make them. Okay. That was my only question about that too. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, if I had a video that did well, but it really made me uncomfortable, I don't know if I could continue making videos. I've had videos that did okay that I know I got something wrong, and that's why a lot of times I'll edit and say, hey, I screwed this up. I'll pin that comment and I'll say, you know, when it comes to this part of the video, I made a mistake, so just keep that in mind. But I don't know if I truly got uncomfortable by the attention if I would just continue. Like, if I got to where I had like hundreds of thousands of eyes on me, I don't know how those people do it. I don't know how I would handle it either, to be fair. But yeah, no, I wasn't even planning on playing this whole video, and I'm not going to make you listen to yourself. The reason in the thumbnail that you're kind of like off to the side on your own is because I wanted to kind of share my thoughts on this video that I saw that you posted yesterday, and then move on to like the really sick individuals. I didn't want to lump you in with like Nick Rekieta and Idubbbz and Alyssa Mercante and all the rest of them. So I just saw the video and I wanted to kind of talk about it. So let me see, where are we at here? That's what the book is getting into. Oh, okay, cool. You know, I legit had to look up the meaning. You guys probably know the meme, what if you didn't have breakfast yesterday? How would you feel? And I was trying to explain it to my wife, and I'm like, I know I'm going to screw it up. And it's basically that some people don't have the mental acuity to understand hypotheticals. Which is so funny because I've seen a lot of memes lately that have to do with hypotheticals. Quick tangent. Which one are we talking about? Yeah, so Sunrand, like I said, my take on the entire thing is at this point, I would just say just make the kind of content you want to make. I was talking to chat before you got here. My very first YouTube video like 5 years ago was like a how-to video for some little feature for Streamlabs, you know? But I did have breakfast. Exactly, Hook, you get it. It's written at a layman's level, but all public figures will have to wrestle with that at some point. Perceive breakfast, exactly. So you say I didn't have a mental breakdown. No, I didn't say you did. It was kind of what everybody was kind of running with was, oh my God, this guy's having a breakdown. And I'm just over here going, I was just trying to figure out what the strategy was. Trying to find Susano's channel and a Naruto comes up. Just needed a lot of people to see and talk about me no longer making those kind of industry or negative focused videos. This is the only way to be effective. I don't know, man. You could have just, I feel like you could have just been like, hey, that's run its course, and Now we're gonna get back to the game videos, the developing, the how-to kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to do things. People respond to it, talk about it on YouTube. True, but then that kind of goes back to more attention, doesn't it? I don't know. Visualize the apple, see how the light bounces off it. You know the funny thing? I don't have the most like visual, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the way you think about things. I don't visualize things very well. So if I want to draw something, right? I'm a terrible artist. This is something where I can't relate to people who actually make video games and development because I don't see things in my head. I'm a very, very bad artist. I don't know that I actually visualize an entire object in my head. Like right now I'm thinking of an apple. Okay, I can see an apple. But I don't see it like in 3D. I see it, but it's not like clear, you know? Hey, Vernum, how's it going, buddy? Visual acuity. Seems like a better approach, but then nobody would have talked about it. It's not a big deal to me. Right, but my only concern for you, Jarrell, because I've been a big fan of yours for a while. I don't say that to butter you up, and I'm not trying to say that to, again, put more pressure on you, especially if you're trying to step back from like the limelight, so to speak. My only concern is that there's going to be people like, okay, like we're going to do the thing that I hate doing, looking at my own comment section. There's a lot of people that if you go through here that don't seem to be like super negative, but that are feeling mixed about it, feeling kind of like they don't know what to take away from it, right? So in that situation, I feel like there might have been a lot of, let's say, innocent people that got kind of caught in the middle, not knowing how to feel based on the pivot. That's where I say, you know, sure, I guess this is the ripping off the Band-Aid way, so to speak. But again, I mean, as you can see, I didn't unsubscribe. I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out, I'm just trying to figure it all out in my head. That's all. Don't like the fan word. Yeah, dude, honestly. Okay, so here's the funny thing about that, Jarrell. I found out last year when my channel hit 10,000 subscribers that apparently channels on YouTube that have 10,000 or more subscribers puts you in the micro-influencer category. And there's no word on this planet when it comes to content creators or you know, celebrities of any sort that I hate worse than influencer. I hate the word influencer. Yeah. Again, Sunrand, my only concern is that by this point, by the third video explaining it, people have probably kind of felt like they are emotionally toyed with or whatever. I don't know. I thought Nick Rekieta was in lockup, but my business comes later. Actually, I was going to get to Nick Rekieta before we get into the whole Idubbbz thing. And the worst part of tonight actually has to do with this Alyssa Mercante lawsuit because they've amended her lawsuit and they've actually dragged a lot of other YouTubers into it, which is crazy. Not me. Not yours truly. I'm like, Alyssa blocked me back in March of last year. She hasn't thought about me since. And to be honest, I stopped covering her as a topic, except for like one video 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago. In general, I just got to be where she's just not worth talking about. Well, yeah, Sunrand, but by the same token, the subscriber count is just a number. Like my kids ask me, because my kids have a YouTube channel and they've been trying to do stuff too, and they've been trying to like make little videos and shorts. And my kids are all about the number of subscribers. So they'll ask me, well, Dad, how many do you have? Do you have like, well, my one kid's like, do you have 1 million? I'm like, no, I don't have 1 million. They're like, well, do you have 2,000? Like, I've got 11,000. And they're like, whoa, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything, guys. People subscribe to channels all the time and then they forget they're subscribed. So by the same token, if you're a channel of 500 subs or a channel of 100,000, at the end of the day, it is just a number. And I get it. For some people, it's all encompassing. It's like everything to them. For me personally, I've said this for a while. I'm just tired of feeling like I can't figure out, you know, what kind of, well, first off, the YouTube algorithm thing is a massive kick in the nuts. As somebody who just tries to upload regularly and share my thoughts, my honest thoughts on things, you feel like you're up against like shit creek without a paddle when you can't figure out the YouTube algorithm. Feels like a massive kick to the nuts. So Oh, she's insane, dude. Thanks, Lord Blaze. Appreciate it, man. I do read them on other people's work, but it's really useful online. I don't know these people. They don't know me. Yeah, and to be fair, there are, I think Sungrand's probably lost a couple thousand subs. So again, numbers are numbers, right? And there's going to be people who feel like they were manipulated, people that feel like he went insane, people that feel like I don't know. I've been just trying to figure out for myself, like, was this the best strategy? Because, I mean, personally, I just kind of feel like, oh no, now my daughter's throwing up. Well, I guess that means I'm not going to church tomorrow. Hey, let me know if I need to run in there, okay? Give me a second, guys. I might have to end things early tonight. I've had... My daughter's twin brother got sick overnight twice this week, and he's finally feeling better. And now my daughter is currently puking. Hey, did she get it all in the bowl? Okay. All right. As far as live chats, we're just at the bar as far as you're concerned. You have a ton of subs that you never see. Oh, dude, Red Merlin, I recently went and cleaned out like 30 or 40 channels I don't even watch anymore, you know? It's absolutely insane. This is why I need a co-host, guys. This is why we need a freaking co-host. I'm gonna just leave this here for a second. Let me go check on her, make sure that she's okay. I'll be right back, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. Yeah, she threw up everywhere. Well, it went in the bowl, but like, ooh, yeah, we had pizza for dinner. That was probably a bad idea. Craziest thing is, my son, her twin brother, had no symptoms when he was getting sick this week. He didn't have a fever. He didn't have anything. You guys remember when I had 40K Empress on Wednesday night, right? So my son had been throwing up all night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. He probably threw up like 7 times. 10K in Sons of the Forest right now? That's crazy. I mean, that game, well, it's actually not that old of a game. It came out, what, last year or 2 years ago? Rust, I've seen a few times on sale, but I just never really bit the bullet on it. Couldn't make myself do it. Still playing KCD2 and Schedule 1. I need to pick up Schedule 1, but guys, I've got so many freaking games to play, man. Not to mention, I just picked up Lords of the Fallen. And that game looks like it could be really good, especially after the 2.0 update. So I really want to give that game a go. Ark and Conan. So I played Ark for a while. I played it for a while. Not nearly as long as Valheim, but Ark was good. And then freaking Conan, I've thought about from time to time, but I remember the thing about Conan when it first came out was it was all about like you could actually make your, I think you had like customizable doodads, if I'm not mistaken. Probably not to the same extent as Baldur's Gate 3, but again, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and switch topics since I'm probably going to be cutting it short a little bit tonight. If I text my mom and tell her that we're not going to be making it to church tomorrow, she's probably going to call me. I'm gonna text her after the stream's over. That's what we'll do. Yeah, I noticed you deleted your own comment. I'm like, I didn't see anything in there offensive. I didn't do it. Conan looked awesome. It looked awesome, but unfortunately, too many games, not enough time, and just not one that I'm going to necessarily jump on, especially with the amount of backlog that I've got. All right, so for anybody who's been following the whole Nick Rekieta thing for the past year and a half, this is sad because I really enjoyed Nick Rekieta's coverage of like the whole Johnny Depp trial. I got to know him fairly, I'd say decently well, not nearly as well as I thought, but you know, he started following me on Twitter. We kind of talked in DMs a couple times. I really liked his opinion on a few things. You fat fingered your keyboard. I'm like, dude, that sounds like X-rated. Don't say that. But it was announced after the trial, the investigation, everything, that Nick Rekieta is going to be on probation for, I believe, 5 years. So you can see here from Josh Pescator, says Nick Rekieta is about to hate the next 5 years of his life. Supervised probation, welcome to the state ruling your life. No alcohol, no, plus drug testing. Gun rights are gone. Random home searches, no more privacy. And he has to ask permission to leave the state. Absolutely insane. Says defendants placed on supervised probation for 5 years. On April 18th, it was ordered that he must comply with the following conditions: the random testing, cognitive skill training, sign probation agreement, can't possess firearms, has to ask, again, permission to leave the state, follow all state and federal criminal laws. That's kind of like, well, that's my daughter or Nick, because Nick has 2 kids. Not harsh enough in your opinion? You know, Susano, here's the funny thing. I follow people who are Nick Rekieta, hey, Sunrand, I'm going to say that word you don't like, that are Nick Rekieta fans. And while I am very anti-authoritarian government, I'm not an anarchist per se, but I'm also, I call myself like a small L libertarian. To some degree, it's like, in this situation, I feel like he got off way too easy. Yeah, Nick has 5 kids. Yeah, my kiddo, she's okay. She probably won't throw up again. She's my child that doesn't puke. Yeah, the Sonichu medallion for real. Only thing I know about him is the video where he was allegedly had a woman under the table. Avernum, I don't know if that was a thing with a woman or if he was just, let's just say, playing the stranger, you know? You sadly read into this? Yeah. There's a whole lot. So when he was initially arrested, here's the thing with Nick Rekieta. He, to whatever extent, I know he and his wife were affiliated with this church over in Minnesota. He had this other woman that was living with them. This woman was married to a guy that's a podcast host. Allegedly, they had this weird situation between all of them, and you can kind of figure out the details of that. It's pretty easy to figure out. Then, of course, you add into that the drugs and everything else, the erratic behavior by Nick, streaming all night, drinking all night, like super late night. I would go to bed from making videos and streaming at like 1 o'clock my time, and I'm on the West Coast. Rekieta would still be up streaming and drinking, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely insane. You had a feeling Nick's a conservative? No, he is. That's the thing. Nick is a quote-unquote conservative when it comes to his politics, but where he is personally, that's a whole nother story. Like, nothing he does in his personal life seems to be done from a very conservative place, right? So the weirdest part, he had tweeted out yesterday that he was going to go live on Rumble, on YouTube. I think he still has a YouTube. I tried looking for his channel on Rumble, and it doesn't exist anymore as far as I can tell. I can't find it. Hayden, Joe, Andrew, etc. all are good peeps. I don't think most people understood this. Are we talking about LawTube? Oh no, Sunrand, you're good. I didn't want to cover that video too long. I just wanted to kind of get an idea about what the video was and kind of share my thoughts on it. Like I said, with my kid getting sick and I have to get some sleep, because either way, I'm either going to church with the fam in the morning or we're just going to try to not be up all night with vomit. I probably won't make this a very long stream, dude. Whatever Nick's trying to conserve is what I don't want. It's different when you know the person involved. Oh, you wish you didn't know who he was prior to so-called LawTube. I don't know much about Nick prior to his infamy or fame via the whole, Amber Heard, Johnny Depp case. Oh no, Jarrell, seriously. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to trash you, and I've already, like I said, the reason I had, let me show you real quick. Here's some transparency for you. You see all these tabs I have up here? This one was just Meta PCs, me trying to shill computers. And then this one here was your video. That was it. Everything else I've got here is other stuff that I was going to talk about. And so you're cool, dude. If you got stuff to do, go ahead and go do that. Otherwise, if you wanted to hang, either way. But since you popped in, I felt like I don't really need to watch the whole 17-minute video. I feel like if people want to go watch the whole thing, they can go watch it. But I feel like speaking to you personally, or like through chat, if nothing else, it kind of fills in the gaps enough. So, okay, so this guy Scarebro says Nick Rekieta is live on Locals exclusively. Here are some highlights being documented. It's a cope session. Nick is hiding behind my kids, obviously, using our wife in April as reasons why he cannot tell you the whole story. I remember this. I remember when he first got arrested, and then he decided the best thing to do after getting arrested was to go live. And this for me was like, this was devastating, because I'm like, dude, I'm watching this dude in real time completely have his entire life flipped on its head because of his own stupid actions. And I'm like, have a little humility and be like, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to do it. And sure enough, he did anyways, right? Oh, no, Jarrell. The daughter throwing up really was where the pivot is. Once that happened, I'm like, all right, we're going to streamline tonight. We're going to move through things a lot quicker. I swear, every time I think that I've got, a stream planned or a spontaneous stream where everything should be smooth sailing, no problems, right? It's like, no. It's just one thing after another. It started with Ian, then Viva. There's a lot of history. Wait, what started with Viva Frey? Or is it Fry? Hey, Nightcore. You're also a gooner. You forgot to put that you're a gooner on there. So yeah, Nick just took off the most out of the bunch. I think that probably has to do with his personal antics. If we're being fair about it, I think Nick Rekieta's entire online persona. And I think, not Sunrand, but Susano, you were the one that kind of talked about it, about how that alter ego situation, like either Nick was living two lives and the one that we see online is not his real life, or he just let his online life bleed over way too much into his personal life. Oh, let me see. God, there's so much here. Chat comments on Nick's low weight. He blames appetite suppression of cocaine, repeats the belief that drugs should be legal because only hurting people with those substances like alcohol. See, this is where, like, here, I'm going to go back to the other screen, guys. I am a terrible, I would be terrible at being a true libertarian because I'm not this person that's like, oh yeah, legalize all drugs. Like, I have this very, I'd say laissez-faire almost opinion of marijuana. Like, I don't think anybody should be in jail for life or prison for life for marijuana possession. I don't like it. It should be a slap on the wrist. I don't like that it's legal, but I also don't think anybody should be in jail for it. Like, you know, misdemeanor, whatever. Like, more of like a nuisance than anything else. And there are people who are like, well, cocaine, heroin, if it's not hurting anybody else. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I can cross that line. I just don't. Viva was in part connected to Jordan Peterson, Gad Sad, and some stuff that was going on way back in 2014. Dude, I've become so disillusioned with the entire Jordan Peterson, Gad Sad, Daily Wire, like the entire group of those people. Honest to God, I used to watch a lot of them. I even have Gad Sad's book. I was going to pick up Jordan Peterson's book. At this point now, I just want nothing to do with any of them. And it's not for any one thing. It's simply, I just don't. I have no use for it anymore. Oh, yeah, Nightcore, it's because they made this day for transgender visibility. It fell like last week, I think was the transgender visibility day, but sometimes it falls on Easter. I don't know. Not a chemical, it's a plant. Yeah, so I mean, there is a difference there. I would say that is a slight difference. A few people already got framed. Are we talking about Rekieta, or are we talking about the whole Jordan Peterson thing? They're caught in a hype and drama cycle. Yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. Let me see here. His pastor's name is I thought it was Pastor Merlin. I'm like, Pastor Merlin. Wow. Let me see. Lots of people in the social circles knew all about the cocaine. He was never outright about it because he wanted legal deniability. Deniability didn't help him. Pastor Mellon, or Milan, sent a letter to Nick saying he was no longer his pastor. Nick does not have the whole report, and there was more than he's still learning about. God. The reporters who got him raided were not from the church. This was another thing. People said that the anonymous reporter, I guess it was somebody that knew him at the church through the church's daycare, but I guess that's not true. Yeah, Merlin, I mean, there's just so many things going on right now. I can't even keep track of all of it, dude. Nick knows who they are. Each of the reports had some truth, but were still lies. It was motivated by their concern about his relationship with April. They got the government to police his personal relationship. What? Here's a comment from locals. The Bible says not to get the law involved and handle things privately. A pastor should know better, and that's an unforgivable sin. They'll burn for eternity. Okay. This is this is some serious cope. I mean, for real. Hope your daughter's all right. Shame she's unwell on pizza night, the second greatest night of the week. Yeah, the problem is, like, for us during baseball season, it's like twice a week. But this week we've tried to be very careful with my son getting sick. So they were supposed to have a sleepover last night. They were really supposed to hang with their friends last night into today and then go see the Minecraft movie, which they all went and saw the Minecraft movie today. But because my son had been getting sick, I'm like, you know what, let's just pass on the sleepover. We can go see the movie, but that's about it, right? So my kids are all getting off of spring break and going back to baseball next week. I mean, Monday, my sons both have games. Tuesday, my daughter's got either a game or a practice, and then it's like we have games back to back to back. So I need everybody to be healthy. And then, of course, tomorrow's Easter. I'm going to have to break the news to my mom, who's probably already thinking that we're going to be at church in the morning. That's like, yeah, we're not going anywhere with a child that's puking. I just had a feeling it was going to happen. Parasocial relationships are also something to be aware of on YouTube specifically. Yes. Yes, and this absolutely has no connection to Sunrand Studio, who's the only other, like, YouTuber, and I know, sorry, I'm using that word. I know, I know it's a sticking point for you. In the chat currently that I even associate with, like, I was saying this a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when a lot of these Civil War controversy type stuff happened on YouTube between like the John Della Roses and Smash and Hypnotic and Melanie Mac and stuff, and it's like I suddenly realized that the problem with like this blanket like ideology of everyone being on the same side for a cause is that within that you have a lot of people who have drastically different opinions on a lot of things, despite being for some weird reason lumped all onto one side. And then when everything's good, you start to see that how all the differences are really, you know, kind of staring at you because there's no common enemy anymore to kind of distract you. All of a sudden it's like, well, we agreed on these 2 things, but here's 99 things over here that we don't agree on. Oh, and you fundamentally hate me just for existing. Okay, well, clearly we're not gonna get along from this point forward. So it is a weird thing. There is a lot of not just drama. It is drama. It's pointless. Well, let's be fair, it's drama. But a lot of other really like bad water under the bridge for a lot of these YouTubers, people on Twitter, social media, you know, influencers, again, that term that I absolutely hate. And it is parasocial. It is very destructive. And I've discovered that the last few months that I feel like there's a few people I can actually talk to behind the scenes or publicly that I feel pretty trustworthy about. And then there's just a bunch of people that I just don't know that I could ever put my trust in, you know? Oh, taco night. Dude, I would rather have taco night than pizza night, 100%. Yeah, if your taco doesn't have too many ingredients like falling out of it to even hold it together, you're not doing it right. Yeah, well, see, I stopped following Melanie Mac on Twitter. I had to mute her because I'm like, I don't really want to see your opinions. Even if I don't follow somebody, I'm still getting like too many of her posts for my taste. Then we see it says Nick complains about the police conducting his investigation and I don't even want to say that word. Due to his small town venue, the judge was never going to go against the police narrative. He still has not gotten all the discovery he was supposed to. He doesn't want to badmouth his lawyer, but some arguments were not made well. Nick votes on tax policy and anti-war basis. He doesn't care who really wins. I can see this. He doesn't want his son to be in a war. I can agree with that. I mean, I think we're all cool with that. Let's see. Nick has known someone from high school who was a cop who lied on probable cause affidavits and eventually got fired. Nick was quick to say he's not representative of who cops are. I mean, it just sounds like a lot of coping. Cookies or brownies night? Do brownies. Brownies are 10 times better than cookies. Like 1,000%. Unless it's a peanut butter cookie. If we're talking a fresh, chewy peanut butter cookie, then I'm all in. 100% all in. If the burrito can barely stay together, you get S rank. Yes. Here's the funny thing. There are people who don't like anything like saucy on their burritos. Like people who don't like salsa, people who don't like guacamole, people who don't like sour cream. It's absolutely insane. It drives me crazy. I would say I know Hayden the best out of that grouping, but I really don't know any of them. I've been in their homes. Haven't been in their homes. Haven't broken bread with them. They're not people I back up in a fight. Well, okay, Remy, if it's not dry, or if it's a brownie and it's dry, that's not a brownie, that's a cookie. A dry brownie is just a chocolate cookie with steps, okay? Yeah, so unfortunately, based on what I've seen, I don't think Nick is ever going to get it. So Nick only has to go to jail for 30 days, right? Wait, what? Nick claims one of his children reported something about the caseworkers that he refuses to elaborate on. He held together Aaron's marriage, alleged physical abuse, claims to have a letter by Aaron, and Aaron's again the woman that was living with Nick and his wife. Aaron is her husband. It would have helped the case he pled guilty to. Judge thinks Nick ghost wrote all 3 letters. Nick thinks only the drug user is harmed by substance abuse. Well, to a degree, I guess. That you can make that argument. I don't agree with it. His classes on accountability will be fun, yes. Nick claims that one of his children reported behavior on the part of someone connected to the county government that made them uncomfortable and would infuriate people if they knew what it was. The GAL in there got mad at the I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean, and threatened to have all the children taken from the family foster care if they didn't stop. When they denied the drug retest on the children, the investigator was literally smiling because she believed Aaron that he was a cult leader. Nick actually helped Aaron in April's marriage. Okay. If you are in a relationship with a woman who's not your wife, who's living with you, and she's married to another man, how can you say that you've helped her marriage? Just saying. Nick does not believe in marriage as idolized by people based on a bad reading of Jesus' word. It leads to a place that ignores the people involved and their mental health. What does that even mean? Oh, I can't with this. There's just so much. Don't overcook the brownies. It's easier to ruin them than cookies. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Let's discuss brownies for a second. Are brownies best, A, just on their own, chewy, fresh, nice, you know, warm out of the oven, or obviously chewy because crispy brownies, screw that, but with ice cream on top, or a chewy brownie with frosting on it? John Delarose, yes, Sunrand. John Delarose, you could go down that rabbit hole if you want to. Man, as much as you might feel like people online are pissed off at you right now, dude, nobody will ever think as poorly of you, Jarrell, as John Delarose. So you've got nothing to worry about there. That man, I used to write for his website, dude. And I'm like, never, ever. I will never associate with that dude ever again. He still follows me on Twitter, and he hasn't removed me from a group chat that he started months ago. And I'm still waiting because he attacked me in the DMs and he's like, you need to apologize to your friends for speaking out and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, man, you're sick in the head. You are one twisted dude. Yeah, it's not a rabbit hole you want to go down, dude. Not unless you like seeing suggestive pictures of Pokemon characters and all sorts of weird stuff. No, the man's twisted. It's so weird. So yeah, basically, Nick is screwed in the head. Now, a video we're not going to watch tonight, because I don't think I could ever subject myself to this. Like the savory umami or whatever, so I guess they had to say it in general. It'd be cooked on cast iron. Oh, interesting. Savory. JD is not a crash waiting to happen. It's already happened many times before. He's a black protagonist. See, what? I think Sunrand is behind on the chat or the video. Oh, he must be catching up. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Maybe he'll catch up before we actually end the stream. I don't know. Very polite way of putting it, yeah. So, this Idubbbz content cop video, I have not watched it, but what I will tell you guys is absolutely hilarious about it is it's not this video. Well, it's this video, but it's not this. This is Thunderbolts, which I don't think anybody's going to watch. The video has been downvoted all to hell. So, Idubbbz comes out of retirement with content cop, something I never watched, because personally, I was never, ever spending that much time online back when my kids were growing up. I didn't know any of who Idubbbz was. I didn't know who Sam Hyde was. I didn't hear about Gamergate. I didn't know any of this stuff, right? Oh, propagandist, not protagonist. Okay. Talking full Chris Chan Rekieta level crash. Oh man, that would be crazy. Yes, the Idubbbz video is incredibly cringe. So what I will play of it is the first maybe 30 seconds or so, because it's unbearable. Well, actually, I'm not going to play this part of it. I want to play this part of it. Hang on.
To you live from a cloudy day
Some
here
of the
in California,
worst
Los
people
Angeles.
on the internet, all brought together for one video,
a fantastic moment because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not going to call it context.
Let's skip ahead.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
The funny thing is, people were saying that this was AI. I'm like, that's not AI. But I think that what they were referring to was this This moment right here.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
Ah, Frogan.
I'm not gonna do
This right here.
yet, chat.
I can't even. Okay, so. You heard his voice and almost downvoted the stream out of instinct. I mean, they really put the worst of the worst people all into one video. You have Frogan, who has put out hits on people, joking about it, wanting to put bounties on people's heads. You've got Frogan, that was Denims. You have Frogan, who has said that she hopes American soldiers get PTSD. You got Hassan, who says we deserve 9/11. You got, I don't even know who the black dude is. And then you got Idubbbz, who's a whole train wreck on his own. Hey, how's she doing? You think she's gonna be okay? Are we just gonna, should I just tell my mom that we're just gonna play it by ear in the morning? All right, we're just gonna say we're staying. I can't even try. Yeah, I don't want to try that. Never mind. We're just not gonna go. Nope. You put the sauce sliders to 10 when doing burritos. Holy crap. No, a good burrito's got to have stuff dripping out of it. Like just like brownies being dry. Not putting up with that. I don't want a dry burrito. Oh no, I'm only gonna stream while she's awake to make sure that if she's puking, I can hear her. Because, you know, that's kind of what our life is now, is children throwing up. Okay, Ian will wake up and then he'll come out and tell us. You think if she starts puking, he won't wake up? Come on. That was not quiet. She was blowing chunks everywhere. That was something else. But, of course, Destiny, the funniest of all people to come out attacking Idubbbz. The lore on Destiny is way too much. I can't even like get into this tonight. Again, this is like the worst of the worst people on the internet coming out all in like one episode, one saga, right? Deep fried and smothered. What? See, okay, occasionally I'll fry the tortilla shells. Like the flour tortilla shells, I'll fry them to make a burrito. But I've never actually taken the whole burrito and fried it like a chimichanga. Dude, there are some people who like crispy brownies. I don't get it. People who like those corner brownies, the edge brownies, I can't do it. No, it's got to be chewy. Summertime ice cream on the brownie, wintertime warm brownie with frosting. Yeah. Yeah, see, on that, I'm on both sides of the fence. I mean, the absolute worst of the worst. Okay, so the video comes out. Destiny, apparently, of all people, goes after Idubbbz. Says, apparently, that... well, let's see, where's his quote here? Don't pretend like you care about mental health or any of that cringe crap. Just be based. Tell people to end themselves. Oh boy. Remember, Destiny is the one who said he didn't care if his own parents had their lives taken if they went to a Trump rally, right? Destiny is like truly one of the worst people on the planet. Make fun of people who have depression or anxiety. Just do that. Just embrace the I can't say the words on stream anymore. All the slurs. Just do that. Go all in on it. But don't do this lefty BS of, oh, you're presenting these criticisms of what another person is saying. Maybe you're just actually effing crazy. Did you ever think that maybe every single thing that you're saying is just the result of a huge mental health ailment and you're not capable of perceiving? But me, who exists, by the way, among your harshest critics, maybe I am able to perceive the thing that you're not, and I'm able to diagnose you without problem. I'm able to tell you that every single thing that you just say is coming from a deep insecurity and deep depression, and you just need to log off and touch grass. Says this is the worst type of gaslighting in the universe. The internet was a better place when Ian just said the N-word. It's the most masked on, deranged type of criticism. So this is more words of wisdom from Destiny here, okay? He was saying it's okay to be a Como. What is that? Hey, Father Sladen. Appreciate it. Yes, Sunrand, you've been behind. I was wondering because some of your comments weren't jiving with the flow of the stream, so I was like, he's got to be behind. Ooh, durian extract. Hell no. Not happening. Hey, Lucia. Not too much. We talked a little bit on Sunrand's recent video. We talked a little bit about Nick Rekieta. In between both... Oh, PDF files. Got it. Okay. In between both, my daughter decided to start throwing up in the other room. So that's something in the back of my brain now that I have to be aware of. So I think Easter service tomorrow is out of the plans. My mom's going to be upset. and that it just is what it is. So here's where it gets a little more juicy, and this is going to tie into the Alyssa Mercante stuff. You're going to see how I tie it all together. Okay, it's all going to fit. So Asmongold, the Roach King, says Idubbbz made a huge credibility error by aligning himself with Ethan Klein's opposition. Look at this, like, this army right here on the side. I swear to God, this is like the cringiest thing I've ever seen right here. Some of the worst of the... Again, I got to give the guy in the red Make America Great Again hat a pass, because I don't know anything about him. I have no clue. But these two over here, absolutely horrible human beings. Let me see here. All right, we're at 100%. So it says Twitch streamer Zach Asmongold, I guess, has said Ian, Idubbbz. Can you stop giving them the little quote names? We know what these people's nicknames are. Made a huge credibility error by collaborating with Hassan, Frogan, Noah Samson. Okay, now I know who the guy is. For those unaware, Idubbbz became the talk of the town, blah, blah, blah. Sure, okay. The DEI Rangers. The Degenerate Brigade. There we go. Are they a wrestling team? No, they're all a bunch of liberal, left-wing extremist political commentators. They orbit around Hassan Piker and basically just parrot everything he says. This one here, Frogan, is the funniest one. She's a half-white, half-Palestinian girl in Dearborn, Michigan, which is full of, like, Muslim extremists. And she changed her name to sound less Muslim, I think, when she was like a teenager. Now she LARPs as a Muslim, even though she's got like full face makeup, flips the bird, curses, she eats on stream. It's incredibly gross to have to watch. And she's LARPing as a Muslim the entire time. It's like, no. Just no. Not happening. For the Harlem Shake, I know the name, but I nothing's popping in my head. Yeah, no, so I didn't know, before a couple of years ago, I didn't even know who Ethan Klein was. No, my entire existence online 10 years ago was simply posting pictures of my kids on Facebook. I don't think I was on Twitter, or if I did, I didn't use it. Didn't watch YouTube for anything beyond how-to videos. That was it. Someone's trying to explain an overly complicated anime? Yeah, pretty much. Left Arab versus left Jewish. There you go. Perfect. Exactly. That's kind of the situation how it's devolved into, right? So it says, this is from Zach here, from Asmongold. I haven't seen this yet, so I could be wrong, but from what I've observed, it seems like Ian, Idubbbz, made a huge credibility error by aligning himself and taking a side with a number of creators oppositional to Ethan, rather than letting his arguments stand on their own. Now, what I have heard criticism about Idubbbz here, the whole content cop thing where he's supposed to call out other creators, he's got 2 or 3 people here, not even including Hassan, who he could have made videos on really easily, criticizing and slamming the hell out of. But he didn't. Instead, he goes after Ethan Klein, basically to suck up to Hassan, right? Dumb 4chan-esque nonsense online mostly. Yeah. Brogan got fatter. I don't think she did, actually. So it's just like, if you look at her legs, I think it's just the fact that she's like triple layered. It looks like she's wearing like 3 layers of clothing. The face, sure, the face is very, very round. Ethan was actually standing up for people not bashing them. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't like Ethan Klein, but I feel like to some degree, out of all these people, he's like, weirdly the most, like, has the most integrity out of all these people we've talked about, which is just strange. Hassan sucks. She's no foodie beauty. Nah, no. All right, Sunrand, take it easy, dude. And like I said, my take on the entire thing, just let it all go. Like, at this point, make the videos you want to make and stop trying to explain. And I get it. You feel like you need to explain where your thought process is at. Just from this point on, just kind of do your own thing, you know? Liberals fighting amongst themselves. Well, not just liberals, man. We're talking like extreme leftist liberals. We're talking like the worst of the worst here. The funny thing is, typically, I mean, this is one of those criticisms when it comes to like left-wing versus right-wing. Usually right-wing people will go down with the ship because they just don't have the common sense to jump off. Whereas left-wing people tend to be like, okay, we're all going to get together and say that person's the problem. Let's throw that one person under the bus and we'll keep moving as a party or as a system. And right now it's like they're very disorganized. It's very crazy. Yeah, kind of what Remy said. The world before and after the opinions is still the same at the end of the day. Yeah, that's very true. Let's see. Zach said, has the content cop been a content cop or a content flop? The fact is, I think that overwhelmingly most people are negative about it. I think that it seems like it made Idubbbz look worse than it made Ethan look. This is really, I mean, going to be real. I think this doesn't really help. I don't think this really makes him look good in a lot of the cases. I don't. And the problem is that all these people have gone and done some kind of crazy bad stuff. Denham's talking about putting money out to end people's lives. Frogan with the PTSD thing. Sean with that stuff about Destiny. I don't know what Sean said about Destiny. And Sean's probably the least problematic of these. Yeah, because I've never heard of this guy. I had no idea who the black dude was. But again, I love the Muslim here flipping people off. Ironically, if you actually do like a 5-second Google search, cursing, profanity is very haram, especially if it's a woman doing it. So it's a very, when I say she's LARPing as a Muslim, this is why. Yep, you have a good weekend, Sunrand. Happy Easter, dude. At least Republicans lose with honor. Not always true. Not always true. Oh, man. Black dude's the token. I kind of feel like that they just got him there for diversity's sake. Yeah, no, Ethan did. Ethan did actually watch the whole thing and respond to it live. That was pretty impressive. Oh, so now we have Destiny and Asmongold going at it. Because again, why not? Zach says a lot of people excuse deranged outbursts like this in Destiny's community because they think Destiny is fighting for a greater good that supersedes any accountability. What they fail to realize is that crash outs like this, his comments toward the firefighter, of course the one at the Trump rally, was given an honorary Secretary of Secret Service role, actively damage any cause he advocates for. Destiny delegitimizes left-wing political goals by using them as a shield while making vile, unwarranted personal attacks. Hopefully his community can realize this before he causes further harm. Destiny responded when said, don't ever let fascist-adjacent people like this who celebrate the arbitrary and malicious firing of federal employees and who say they would gleefully cheer for the deportation of people without due process from the U.S. gaslight you into thinking you're being immoral for blasting them for it. Remember, people like Asmongold would defend Trump executing U.S. citizens. Again, nobody has actually shown evidence of that because it's never happened. For arbitrary reasons, if he started doing it, there's no line that Trump cannot cross that these people wouldn't call him out on. Again, I don't think that's true. They'll constantly redefine words. These people will simultaneously make jokes out of the unilateral destruction of our laws and traditions. It's like, has he not been here for like the last 8 years? I mean, holy crap. Anyways, yeah, Carl Benjamin says, all Asmongold has to do is keep a cool head and he'll completely cook every leftist that comes his way. His demands are completely reasonable. He seems like a fairly relaxed fellow. And I've recently said in some videos talking about Asmongold, I don't think he's that smart. I don't think he's a conservative. I don't think he has anything like profound to say. It's just the reality that Asmongold has a massive platform and a huge audience. So when he says something that's super common sense, people are like, wow, that's crazy, right? And it's like, no, not really. It's pretty much just a centrist, common sense position or you know, viewpoint to have. So now we get into Asmongold versus Alyssa Mercante. I actually hadn't watched this yet. I thought it was a longer video. I was hoping it was like an actual 20-minute segment. Turns out it's just 1 minute and 33 seconds, but we're going to play it anyways. It says total gamer victory. So we'll see what this is.
Also, by the way, do you remember that girl that worked at Kotaku and then she wrote the big article, the Kabrutus article?
Here at Asmongold Clips Enterprises we do not forget. March 25th, Alyssa begins the encounter.
Oh, I gotta give myself a little shout out here. This profile picture Alyssa used on Twitter was from a thumbnail from a video that I made, and it pissed her off so much that she stole the thumbnail photo and used it as her profile picture. This is right around the time that she blocked me on Twitter too. So it was pretty funny while it lasted, but yeah, then she eventually changed it to something else.
asking for dirt on Asmongold on an alleged hit piece documenting his shift. And then Alyssa begins a barrage of tweets about my client's lackluster appearance. Her remarks slowly begin bordering stalking behaviour when she started replying to tweets that had nothing to do with the Sweet Baby Ink situation.
Vote with your wallet, stop buying soap. So she's gonna make a video about how I smell bad?
And then she crossed the line when she started liking and retweeting tweets calling Asmongold a racist and a transphobe in an attempt to have him lose his Capcom sponsor for Dragon's Dogma 2.
Alyssa Mercante got fired from Kotaku. Yeah, I think it's probably a good decision for her and also for Kotaku.
Not for me, though! Fuck!
Well, I want to announce that we have had a complete and catastrophic...
This is from a tweet from a couple days ago. Now, again, Old Man Grim, he tags me in a lot of posts on Twitter. And while I appreciate the documenting that he does for a lot of these things, he takes screenshots of basically all these weirdos and posts them on stuff from Blue Sky and posts them on Twitter. It's interesting to have. It's good for like documenting, sake for people like Smash JT. He's got the lawsuit going on, everything else. I don't care enough to cover most of this stuff in videos anymore. Like I said, the fact that she's now working at a restaurant at like almost 40 years old after being the senior editor at Kotaku. Sure, it's funny. She's done it to herself, but I do think it is really funny that she's putting this on Blue Sky, like, oh, look at me, poor me, I'm walking into a restaurant shift feeling like I'm 25 again, what a life.
Universal chud victory. Put the fries in the bag. The funny thing is that may actually be happening. Let me just say this. We are winning, and we are winning on such monumental level. It's hard to even keep track of how much we're winning. Yeah, we're gonna get tired. Yeah, we're gonna be tired of winning.
The cruelest people got what they wanted, and most people in this industry just let it happen.
And if you have a problem with that, come fight me physically, bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
So yeah, that's a thing apparently. Now she's been destroyed over on Asmongold's channel. And again, it was this thread here from Blue Sky. So effed that I lost a job and I'm struggling to get a new one. This is that thing. If your entire existence online, and I can't speak to the same level because I'm not out there with my full legal name and stuff doing business on my YouTube channel as so-and-so, but if you're in a position as an editor at a news organization, which is what Kotaku is, whether or not it's a good news organization is a whole other story, but it's like you're out there publishing articles as the senior editor of a news organization with your full legal name, it will be hard if you get involved in these kind of spats publicly to go get hired by somebody who might recognize. Now, again, the world has got millions of people. You go get a job at a restaurant, they're not going to think twice about who you are. Somebody that wanders in one day might go, oh, I think I know that chick, They might know her from that campsite she used to work on. I don't know. But, yeah, the cruelest people got what they wanted and most people in this industry let it happen thing. I don't understand this train of thought that she's got where she acted like a complete vile, disgusting human being. I mean, look, it wasn't just gamers. It wasn't just gamers that she went after. She did an interview with that Farm Folks CEO where he didn't speak English fluently. She took his words, made it sound like he hated gamers, and when he tried to ask her to correct the article, she told him, not my job, not my problem. Okay? These are the situations where she is going to make life harder for herself once she's no longer at Kotaku, and she wants to blame it on her own industry not backing her up, or again, the worst people getting her to lose her job. Again, her entire her entire public persona when she left Kotaku was that it was her choice. She wanted to move on to further opportunities. Then when she decided to sue Smash JT, it turned into, I was fired because you meanies got me fired. Again, trying to play the victim after saying I chose to leave Kotaku. It's just insane. She was used to having institutional dominance? Yeah, 100%. Oh, she's going again. We're gonna wrap this up very soon, guys. Let me take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. She went from fired from Kotaku to being hired by Rolling Stone. She wasn't hired though, Hook. She was just writing articles like freelance or whatever. Again, the thing about writers is you can work without a contract freelance for any news organization that exists provided they want to pay you for your articles. So. Get wrapped up here and we'll get her started. I tell you, when it rains, it pours. Farm Folks goes by the name of Autonomica. Currently looks nice. I haven't played it yet. Again, when I saw that it was a cozy farm game, I'm like, not really my thing. This is crazy. The last time that I was streaming and I had a kid throw up was COVID. I'm not even kidding, guys. I was streaming on Christmas Eve 2019, and everybody in my kid's school was getting sick from some weird virus and turned out to be COVID. And the craziest part about it was that my son ended up getting sick, ironically, like Christmas Eve night as I'm streaming. It was crazy. Didn't know they changed the name. I didn't know either. So, guys, we're going to speedrun this real quick because I'm going to need to get off of here. Let's do a speedrun. Basically, the situation as we have it right now is essentially what's going on is Alyssa Mercante in her lawsuit against Smash JT has amended her lawsuit. Now, I've tried finding it online. There are websites that have it like Pacer Monitor. I can't access it without actually like signing up for this website, and I'm not going to do that. But what she has done is she has amended her lawsuit to include people like this Old Man Grim account that I was telling you about. They have tried to, or sorry, she didn't add him. She added, where are we at? She added 8-Bit Eric. She added this chick Toasty Mosty, who's been talking about her a lot. Where's my tweet at? Not my tweet. Here we go. So it says they tried to dox every YouTuber they could. They added, you know, Rev Says Desu. They've added Toasty with the Mosty. And a few other people. I think 8-Bit Eric's on here as well. So they used their real names in the legal filing. Basically, completely scummy behavior. Absolutely terrible stuff. Mix between Satisfactory and the Porsche games. Probably going to end up seeing a couple hours. Yeah, I could see that. It depends. Like, I get worried when I hear that cozy word when they're talking about, you know, like cozy game. But of course, you get like the Kate Bush accounts. Again, there's like a million of these. That freaking Antifa LARPer dude who just won't ever go away. Says it looks like Smash JT and the usual suspects are learning that actions have consequences in the lawsuit with Alyssa Mercante, especially when your information is publicly available. Again, this wasn't publicly available information. This is YouTubers who use a name for a channel, and these people dug up their information and added them to the lawsuit, simply as, I would say, an intimidation tactic. I mean, straight up, it seems like a straight up attempt to intimidate people into silencing them. Again, there are people who try to be more objective. This Damage Sector guy says, I got done reading the amended filing. I don't understand how a lot of it will hold up from a legal standpoint, but there are some points I could see her possibly winning on. I don't know. I haven't seen it myself. Will she? Only time will tell. I didn't go to law school. I'm not going to pretend like I know either side. What I will say is I've seen both sides conduct themselves poorly. I'm not rooting for either side. Regardless of who wins, the gaming community is not better off. Blah, blah, blah. So you can get this just by filing a complaint, but you also get their information when they do it. Yeah, but, you know, it feels scummy. I understand that there's legal avenues. There's ways to do this legally. Look, I just gave you a bath. You shouldn't be chewing your butt. Come here. Come here. Come here. You should not be chewing your butt. I just bathed you. But with what we've seen, and like I've said before, I think Smash feeds into too much of it. Maybe he's too confident that he thinks he's going to win. And I think looking at the case, I think the case will get thrown out just based on lack of merit. But again, it just feels like this just feels like Alyssa's attempt to go after anybody who's criticized her. Again, she's not suing these people. She's just including them, like naming them in the lawsuit. What is the fluffy void? It is my adopted dog. That was my mother's dog. It is a Shorky Poo, which is not a type of dog I would have ever purchased. He's my shadow. Like, I can't go anywhere without him. But he's a Shih Tzu Yorkie Poodle. And yes, you can't see him at night. Or pretty much can't see his face during the day either. So, let's see. Oh yeah, no, Ron Coleman is going to wipe the floor with him, in my personal opinion. Like all this, you do require damages before something can be done about it. Not legal advice per se. Oh no, Susano, I know that you've got a lot of knowledge and you're not exactly saying it's like legally the way it will go. I'm just going to say, based on my lack of any legal knowledge at all, I don't see how Alyssa's case doesn't get thrown out. Based on her own actions. I mean, look, there are so many cases where she has provoked, I talked about it in my video about Marek Tominsky and Lords of the Fallen, that she's intentionally provoked developers and media, you know, journalists. She went after Eric Kane of Forbes, okay? Somebody who's a liberal, a left-winger, that he hates Trump. He's a Democrat. He voted for, you know, Kamala Harris, and he can't stand her, and she went after Eric Kane. It's like, she's not going to win this case. She's made it very clear that she herself is completely out of bounds when it comes to her antics online, the way that she treats people, the way that she conducts herself. So I don't see how this does her any favors by adding more YouTubers and go, oh, see, they're saying mean things about me. Like, what does that do? You know? Physiognomy check. Let me see. Both sides name what they did. Alyssa's clear wrongs or unnamed wrongs for purpose of holding a centrist position. Stuff does also sound worse in text. It's very, very obvious there, yes. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. It's so funny. Sunrand thought that I was trying to avoid talking about him while he was here. It's like, no, dude, I'm looking at the time going, I have to wrap this up because I got a child throwing up, so... yeah, if Sunrand stops like making these apology videos and explanation videos, I don't think there's anything left to talk about him. To be honest, I would just like to see Jarrell just get back to making videos that he likes and just stop worrying about everything else. Yeah, no, Ron Coleman should have no problem, I would say, at least arguing his case effectively, and then it comes down to the judge. And judges can be biased. I mean, let's be honest about that. Yeah, I hope she feels better too. My daughter, she's the one that doesn't throw up, so if she's sick, it's definitely something that's more than just like, you know, a tummy ache. Thanks, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna get her situated probably on the couch or something so she doesn't keep waking her brother up, because that's the downside of having a bunk bed is when one person's throwing up, the other person's waking up to it every time, so. Yeah, you too, Red Merlin. Thanks, Drew, appreciate it. I don't like this one pulled him into the live chat. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Sunrand? That's okay. I mean, It did suck because I felt weird talking about his video while he was here, but it did give me a chance to speak more or less directly to him. And again, like I've said before, if he sees the live streams afterwards or whatever, I'm totally cool with like sharing my opinion in a live stream for him to watch later on. I don't think there's anything inherently bad about that. That was your 2-year-old a couple weeks ago. My kids are all, you know, beyond that, where tummy hurts, you don't know what's wrong with them, they can't really communicate as well. I mean, my kids are almost 10, the twins, and then my oldest kid's damn near, you know, a teenager. But it still makes it really rough, especially when it's like you can't figure out why they're sick. It just comes out of nowhere, you know? You want to be blissfully ignorant about Mercante, or you learned it against your will? I mean, I got into some of it. Thanks, Lucy, I appreciate it. I got into some of it back last year because it was fun. It was, you know, it was a lolcow and it was spicy and it was entertaining for a minute, and it's not entertaining anymore. Now it's like, now you're dragging people into your lawsuit that have nothing to do with it. Now, again, I will say, to be fair, the YouTuber that she mentioned on there, Toasty, she has been like going hard at Alyssa. So it's like, okay, so maybe she could have just ignored her, but I still think it's scummy to drag somebody into an actual lawsuit. I don't know. Oh, there are so many pictures of her that haunt me. Oh, no worries, John. I mean, here's the thing. If I thought that he was a complete piece of crap, like piece of trash or piece of crap, then I would have been a lot less cordial. I just can't figure out, like, because I haven't made my determination about what his ultimate motivation might have been, I'm not going to go after the guy like, again, I'm not going to treat him like JDA. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. Y'all have a good night. Happy Easter. Thanks for hanging. I know that it was kind of a weird stream. Very, very messy, minus the puke. But I'll catch you guys on Monday. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more streamlined, good to go setup. And we'll get back to a game stream also next week. I told my son, if we can figure out the schedule as far as the baseball schedule goes, I wanted to do a game stream with him anyways. So maybe we can try the Lords of the Fallen with the friend pass on my kid's computer and give that a shot, see how it goes. I have not watched Harmful Opinions video. I'll have to give that a look. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging. Like I said, appreciate it. And and John, even everybody else who was here, thanks for being civil when Sunrand popped in. Again, I'm not here to tell the guy that, oh, you're what, you know, I'm not here to attack the guy. I just question a lot of the choices he's made. And again, I was able to, I think, effectively air that while he was here. So if it has any positive or negative effect,